video, audio.
Hello and welcome to the East Lampeter Township Public Meeting. All participants are now informed that this meeting is being recorded. This meeting is also being offered virtually utilizing Zoom, which is a cloud-based platform for remote video and audio conferencing. The Zoom application is free to the public. The general public is therefore able to join the meeting by connection through the internet or by calling in by phone. The public is also able to observe the meeting on the Township's YouTube channel. Please continue to check the Township website calendar for any updates related to these public meetings. Agendas for these public meetings will also be available on the Township's website. Please be reminded that this meeting is being video and audio recorded and will be posted to the Township's YouTube channel for viewing. The meeting will now proceed with the chairman calling the meeting to order and identifying all other members present in the meeting room and those joining the meeting via Zoom. The chairman will then confirm those members joining by Zoom can be heard.
Okay, welcome to the May meeting of the East Lampeter Township Sewer and Stormwater Authorities. And present we have members Gavin Scaler, Michelle Robinson, Fred Clark, and Vinnie Patel. Township representatives Stephanie Leakway, Ralph Hutchison, Tara Hitchens, and Charlie Thomas. And from HRG, we have Matt Sicci. And it don't look like we have anyone on Zoom, so we don't have to worry about the audio of that. And I welcome you to join us from the United States. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic which stands one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice. The efficiency of our secretary from last month. We've had the minutes for a few weeks now, so unless there's any additions or corrections, we're going to stand approved as written. Hearing none, we're going to move on to the treasurer's report, sanitary sewer.
We have checks that need written in the amount of $11,543. And as of the end of April, we have a checking account balance of $6,732.09. So 15,000 account for administrative fees.
Do you have any bill? The
checks,
is that the total? I mean,
yes,
what you said, 11,000.
They are the bills and then the members' checks.
Requisitions.
One requisition 03-661. This is payable to Herbert Golden Grubick Inc. for work related to the PennDOT State Route 30 bridge replacement projects. The Saffron Pump Station with full lining, Rockville redevelopment sewer capacity study, the Strasburg plant, the sewer environment building, and the Hobsburg sewer lining project construction administration that totals $3,415.50. Did have one question, check the resolution, and I see it's also for later. Rod Barner from the city reached out and he said with, I guess, nearing the resolution of the deposit, he didn't know if the authority could approve in advance requisitions for you. Wait for you to help road pressure I had not prepared requisitions for that. Or if people just have to do it. Don't have the bank info yet for routing.
Well, they can trust information yet.
So that's why I didn't prepare anything, but he wasn't sure if it could be approved here, and then once that's known to submit.
It would be best.
Motion to
I'll make a motion.
For the sewer authority, all in favor, say aye.
2 seconds. We all did.
Oh,
You do.
stormwater payment of bills.
Rick, we have checks that he's written in the amount of $10,740.20. And we have a checking account balance of $65,764.46. Our savings is about over $6 million.
No. I'll make a motion. To pay the bills.
I'll second.
Stormwater.
Motion made and seconded to pay the bills for the stormwater authority. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved. The title of old business under sanitary sewer, Stouffer Run upgrade.
I've been in communication with Envira to check on the status of the trimmed impellers from Norwood Rough. They informed me that they have received those, and their service department was going to reach out to schedule installation of that, but they said they weren't going to be able to ship the new belts and shivs that go along with it. So they don't have those yet, so they're checking on the status of the belts and shivs when we're up and when they do.
Okay, thank you. CFA funding.
I think the first project there is listed as the Oaks Pump Station 2 Elimination Project.
I have reached out to Mr. Nisley multiple times, left voicemails, stopped knocking on the door, left a business card asking him to contact me. We're to a point now where we resent the letter that we originally sent to contact us about the easements. That went out last Friday, so we're hoping to hear from him shortly. This kind of disappeared.
There's a certain time of year that project. Okay.
There's not a big impact with traffic, so I don't think so. I mean, it's going to be a boring under that section of 30. You know, that's getting here into the summertime. You know, we do have to, we'd like to get some geotechnical borings completed and get it. So I think maybe getting out of the rainy season or something like that. It'd be nice to get in there, get the most accomplished. But I think from a construction standpoint, it's, I don't think coming here would impact it. I think the big thing would be ultimately having these projects completed for the September 30th of next year. This an aspect of the that's going to be the driving factor.
2026, you're saying?
Correct. Yep.
Anything on the South Run pump station wet well lining?
We've been in contact with the contractor. They had an issue with their rig that they used to apply the product. That's in the shop to repair, but they think that should be ready here by the end of this month. And this project's one of the first ones to be completed. So they put out this month, next month, a couple states, township staff for coordination. Township staff are talking with me. The only other thing that is, we've had multiple emails with the Department of Labor Industry, just follow that it does qualify as a new project. And we not necessary, they've asked for some follow-up information, which we provide. Just waiting on that information from them.
How long would that take to do that?
The application itself, it's probably, if isolate flow and one side of the wet well and clean and prep. I think clean and prep probably a day or so to apply, another day. So it's 1 to 2 week period of time, just between setup area and application product. But I think the product application itself is done a day on each side. It's, ultimately, it's about 1/8 of an inch thick on the walls, the exterior walls, and about 1/16 of an inch thick liner on the interior walls. So it's not a very thick application product. So
The gentleman that we met on site told us about a week and a half. So
Project.
submitted some occupancy permit application for PennDOT. There are some forms now, so the authorities, I guess, last project you completed, your project you completed, PennDOT's changed some of their procedures, so they now require the authority to business partner. So I know exactly what to put together with their, to do that, and maybe we can make them this. The other document that's needed, for submission, it's in your packet, it's basically the authority, with authorization that each review their agent, bring this work into me. Would be completion of that. So there may be a couple.
yeah, I have it here. It's the ones for the BPID number. Like Matt said, we used the township's number on the last project, and now PennDOT says the authority needs their own number. And permit for signature also.
It's even getting more stringent as well. We're learning on other projects here more recently where PennDOT never just required townships and authorities to bond their improvements. Well, one I'm doing right now, they're now starting they're requiring an authority to submit bonds.
Was there a threshold that had to be met?
There wasn't on that one, but that's the restoration costs were more, it was pretty significant restoration. I mean, we were putting like 3,000 feet in a PennDOT road.
Restoration.
Yeah. So they required, I think it was about $500,000.
This is exactly what I thought they were trying to eliminate in our government. It's a crack like this.
It was never required municipal entities before local governments, but it was something new this. So we'll see if they require this one. And
They can sign these later.
Yeah.
Tonight, that way we can get stuff submitted. So they can review the application. They review what we submitted so far until this goes in established with a BPID. It's your paperwork sitting until we receive this paper.
And the sewer authority has their own number,
No.
but now you gotta apply through the state to get that?
Yeah, through PennDOT. Yeah, the township, the authority has an EIN number, but it doesn't have a BPID number. Township has both, and that's what we used the last time when we did the 30 project.
Right.
With manhole rehabilitation, we just used the township number, which was okay.
And what are they protecting? I mean, what do they think you can do to actually screw them over, basically?
They're following their own rules that bureaucrats came up with.
Well, I'm not sure how much of it the bureaucrats versus a policy decision of the department.
Same thing. It's the same thing. Keep on.
Yeah, just more paperwork.
The whole of the project. Okay. Millbridge Village.
I don't know if we need a vote on that.
For them to sign the BPID. So for HRG to apply, yes.
I think it'd be appropriate approval of the necessary PennDOT paperwork.
We need a motion to approve filling out this authorization for agent, highway occupancy permit. I'll make that motion for the Stratford Pike project.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? So moved. Middlebridge Village Camp.
That last month about the 7 feet sites that hooked up, illegally, with no plans. The attorney's got together with staff. We discussed what we need to expect, what the EDU 10 fee charges. We got that back to two associates who was the engineer for Paradise Township. The property owner decided the money that was going to be involved. So now we got to figure out, he's going to cut the cap where he tied this line in. I said, but you still have the pipe in the ground. What's to say on Saturday? Joe Hall, hook it up. So I think I'm going to make all the lines with flowable fill or tear them out.
Did you say pour something in the line?
Flowable fill.
Flowable fill.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we haven't gotten back to Ritu yet on that decision. But yeah, it's,
We probably still have to do the improvements to the pump station, wet well.
yeah, the stuff, it's still look great and everything. We're not spending anything yet, but so they can't use those pipes. You're talking, you would have needed 8 additional EDUs, I think.
Was there a planning development for this township for these extra 17 lots and they just forgot about it?
They never submitted a plan.
So they're in trouble with Paradise Township too, I would
There were
assume.
2, I met 2 on site and I said, did you review a plan and approve it? He said, we never saw anything. This guy just went in there and started digging in and said, I would put sewer line that used to lead. There's things like that. It's unreal.
That are not,
Plus, it looked like there was water in the sewer in the same trench. So, yeah,
Is this still Brian Gopan?
no, actually, he sold it a couple years ago. There was a project that we did along the stream bank and we have a maintenance agreement with him, well, with the property owner to make sure they maintain this because we did it for the first year.
yeah.
Remember, we did the Equity crazy. That's
He
pretty.
went over through that one. You better make sure those pipes are filled.
But I think they said all the bushes and everything down now for the stream bank restoration. I can get it, go down to look to see what they destroyed. 'Cause I mean, that was $200,000 spent.
What's over to?
That stream, that stream restoration. Over $200,000.
What'd they do to it?
Yeah, well, it looks like from what I saw, everything going to the property, it looked like a bunch of people with weed whackers went in there and just mowed everything down. There's bushes and shells and it didn't look good. So, and before Brian Copan sold the property, spoke with him, said, make sure all these agreements go to this property owner. The operating maintenance for the storm sewer and the intermunicipal agreement. He said, I already took care of all that. Property. It's not red, folks.
Who's the owner now?
Forget what his name is. He's not happy with me though.
Yeah.
Still my job.
Is there a question on the number of EDUs that they were?
The flow numbers that we pulled up for, because we do it by meter readings, the connection fee goes by 100 gallons per day, camps fee.
Yeah.
But we bill Paradise Township through the water meter readings, and the amount of water that they're using is about 31 or 32 EDUs. So far, myself, Steph have found that they applied for 12, but they're using up to 32.
So you think they paid for 12?
Well, yes, they did. Back in 1994, they had 4 EDUs, and in 2005. They was
12 EDUs for 300 or 400 gallons per EDU.
2 times 239.
239. So 12, 239, 24.
Yeah, they,
That's still 32 or 3,300.
yeah, and they're using a lot of water. So, and we base their billing.
Do they have filtration? Oh, no, that your water meter would be your water meter.
So stop the project, you just got to follow up how they're going to disconnect it.
Like you have a new friend.
All over, be surprised.
Sorry, I missed that part of the conversation, but this was part of the discussion about what, if anything, we should do about the number of EDUs there.
Yeah, with the water meter readings. Yeah, I found information so far. In 94, they got 4 EDUs. In 2006 or 2007, they got 80. So that's 12, but they're using 32.
You write it. Take your book back.
Which for 2.
Right, and that was that information's on a quarterly basis to read that information. So based upon the actual number of days in the quarter, we ran a calculation that said, here's the number of days, here's the amount of water that was used over that time period, determine how many numbers of EDUs were used on average in the field based upon those numbers. So it fluctuates. In the past, over that 10-year period, I think the highest quarter was at 32 EDUs. In the past 5 years, I think it was 20 or 22 EDUs. But yeah, it definitely does fluctuate.
Will they have to pay the new rate?
Well, you haven't adopted it.
How many campsites do they have there?
Total? Like 90 some total, but the ones that hook up to the sewer and stuff,
Yeah.
I don't have that number right on hand. But still, they have a dump station right there, so people are still dumping it. So if they're hooked up, they're going to be using more because they're not going to be.
It said they have a total of 98 camping sites plus a store, a social hall, game room, areas.
How did they get along there so that long? How does something like this happen? Even like when they bought the additional EDUs in 06 or 07. I mean, with that much capacity or space?
I think the sites have always been there.
Those 17 sites were always there. They were not connected directly
To the sewer, right?
So they were using the dump pit on the way out.
Okay.
This might have been mentioned last month when I wasn't here. How'd you find out about that there was sewer on these 17 units?
These new 17 units sold in Jacko down there digging.
And how often do we read the water meters, and do we read them or does Paradise? We read them.
And then we built Paradise Township. The campground is a customer of them. Paradise Township's our customer.
And so who sells EDU, or who, is that Paradise Township or is that us to Paradise Township?
Us to Paradise Township.
Us to Paradise Township.
Basically a PUC thing. We can't directly serve somebody outside the township. Right. I believe we know PUC.
Right. Right.
That's why we said the Paradise is our customer, and the campsite is theirs.
So do we bill Paradise for that?
Correct.
And do we get paid by Paradise or do we get paid by?
We get paid by Paradise.
How we do it?
So if we're going to want additional EDUs, tapping fees, that would be from Paradise. What they do on their end with their customers is up to them.
They're well aware of it. Brian Cooley, campsites back in '07. The gentleman in Paradise Township contacted us. We inspected everything together. We saw the drawings, and it was done by the with the intermunicipal agreement of the new owner. Because didn't understand the intermunicipal agreement. The gentleman I worked with years ago, no longer works there. They got new staff, and I don't think they knew about really.
We'd have to get a lawyer involved.
Well, I was just about to say, neither did the lawyer understand how.
Gonna move on from that. Tapping fee resolutions, comments.
Everybody was given a draft at the last meeting. There's no comments. We'll bring clean copies. Guess to the jury for adoption.
Is that all the conditions that you all are considering? So have to be in the planning process
Have to be in the planning process.
before January 1st, 2026. Anything that's currently going through the process will continue to have $2,650 as their
In the planning process.
the project Elsa or the township is involved in currently is under the 2000.
So you'll bring a clean copy to the next meeting and then we'll vote on it.
And we'll make sure it's advertised.
I'll have you a resolution number too.
Okay.
Old business under stormwater, it says none. Anybody want to add anything to that?
I don't want to.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe I do.
See the seat. See the seat.
It appears that I2 Capital may have made progress with DEP on the ag projects that they did. Is that a fair statement, Tara?
Appears is the correct word.
So we may be closer to consummating that program and getting the credits that we, or at least some of the credits that we expected to get out of that project.
Have they set a number we have to spend in the next cycle yet?
Has not been approved yet, so we don't have that number yet. And whether it's sediment or whether it's quality, none of that's formally approved.
They don't express it in dollars either. It's be expressed in some other measurement that you would have to comply with.
Okay, under new business, sanitary sewer, partner bank escrow.
That was, information was given to Kevin Hostetter, finance director, which in turn turned it over to the city, which sent it to Rick Dent, electronic signature last week. And that was the switch over to Wilmington Trust for Bill Pool.
Yeah, and it's been a hassle. I mean, I've signed it twice, but there's two other places to sign it that I can't sign. You know, but it shows that it's completed though. So that's all I worry about. When it said, you know, it comes through as completed, so. But then they resent it because Whitman had a problem or something, and so I signed it again. So, yeah, I think
We'll check up on it tomorrow to make sure signatures are in place. If they've got to send me another copy, we just sign it here. I can scan it and email. So that's the way she wanted it done.
Yeah.
Because all that information needed to be loaded in. So we should be good with that. And I'll double check.
Any other, new business under sanitary sewer? New business under stormwater, again, it says none.
None.
Right? We're in the spotlight. Any other business? Yes, the authority will be meeting in the confidential session of council for legal issues covered under privileged discussion after this meeting. Any other public comment?